Hare Krishna. To all devotees, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Is my voice clear?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for confirming. Okay, so let us start with the prayers. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuroन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादांच ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिमुत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दं माधवं श्रीचैतन्यं विष्णुधामं जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. I welcome you all to this session of Bhagavad Gita, where we would be starting with the second chapter today. And yes, if possible, please come on videos. So before starting, we have given a good amount of time in understanding Bhagavad Gita chapter 1. And if someone can just give an overview of what they have understood in this chapter, so that then we can start with the second one. So please raise your hands. Okay. Because then I will have to take names. So Jigisha Mataji, would you like to try? And whatever you want to, like, if even if something goes wrong, that's not a problem. Please try.
Sorry, this time, please excuse me, I'm out.
Okay.
So sorry.
Okay, no problem. Anyone else?
I can try, Mataji.
Sure, Mataji. Yes.
I have just taken notes. I'm just searching. 2 minutes, Mataji.
Sure, no problem, Mataji. By the time Rohini Mataji have raised hand, you have any question, or you also want to give the overview? Overview. Okay, then you can wait, Mataji. Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, may I try a little?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. Mataji, we were under this Arjuna's argument against, fighting the war. So, like, the extraction was like argument for compassion, enjoyment, and if some sinful reactions he'll be getting, or all family members destruction and all. So he was afraid of all these arguments he was doing with Krishna. So a lot of clarification we found from these verses. Ji Mataji.
Yes, and also these words, the reasons, like what Arjun has given, the reasons of not fighting the war. So the like what we can say, the answers for these arguments, the answers will be from second chapter. Like Krishna will counter attack on all of these reasons in the second chapter. So
Ji.
we discussed on the reason that Arjun was giving, on what basis he was giving, but what are the answer to those reasons? Like, because anyhow, even after giving those reasons, Krishna is still wanting him to fight, right? So, of course, that is not the right reason to say that I do not want to fight. So then what is the right thing for which Krishna is still insisting him to fight? So those things we will cover in the second chapter. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yes, Sindhu Mataji, would you like to record your notes? Okay. By the time anyone else, even based on the subheadings also, you would be able to guess. For in every PPT, the first slide, we used to have the subheadings of the first chapter, right? So what was there initially? What was there later? Why Arjun got bewildered? Right? So these were the important things that we discussed till now in first chapter. So we are 7 minutes up, Sindhu Mataji. Would you like to? You got your notes now?
Yes, Mataji, Hari Bol. I have just written, but I don't know whether it is. I am having so many notes books now, so
No
so
problem,
confusing.
Mataji.
I have
You
written
can please
signs of
try.
victory, Hanuman's flag, and I have also
Right.
written that Achyuta, he's so infallible, and so he tells Krishna to draw his chariot in the middle. I've written all that, and 5 reasons for not fighting, the war, and about his bewilderment and confusion, about his relatives, all that I've written. And so like and so
So
many
what
points I've
caused the
written.
bewilderment? What caused the bewilderment? Initially, you said that there were signs
Yeah,
of victory, right?
fear,
But
fear
then,
in the heart. So many people have assembled here to fight. So he wants to express before his Lord about his fear and, you know, uh,
so yes.
Mataji,
So
it was
basically, yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, because of Varnashram, na, because family members, if they die, so for who will pray, for Vedic or our,
Right.
yeah,
So basically that's the answer. The 5 reasons that Arjun gives,
yeah,
that are the reasons of why he got bewildered.
yeah,
By seeing when he says when he tells Krishna that please take my chariot in between the armies, I want to see who all have assembled to please the
yeah,
evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. So at that point of time, so if you remember, we
yeah,
discussed that the first chapter is divided into 2 parts. The first
yeah,
part is Sainya Darshan. So in Sainya Darshan, basically there is discussion of the capabilities of the 2 armies and the blowing of the conch shells and how the
yeah.
blowing of the
And
conch
also
shells
he
shattered
says
the hearts.
he can control the wind, but not the mind. That
Right.
high level of the thing. So we are also in such a situation. Only from knowledge of the Shastras will help us.
Correct. Yes, Mataji. So this also we discussed that a Bhagavad Gita is not just a philosophical book that needs to be understood from a knowledge point of view, but it is as practical as it was 5,000 years ago. So
Yes,
in that manner also we have to approach this knowledge.
yes,
We
Mataji.
have to
And
try
also
to
we
take it.
saw Krishna taking a very humble subordinate position to serve his devotee friend. So out of love
Yes.
only he wants to serve. There is no superiority thing there. And the 6 opulences we saw about that also. And of all the 6, the highest is the renunciation. We saw that.
Yes.
The opulence of renunciation is the highest one.
Right.
Because he was not attached to anything. So he had everything. So
Correct.
Arjuna was in that situation. We must also learn from that.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so
And
much, Mataji.
Hari Bol Mataji.
Hari Hari. Okay, so with this nice overview that we have seen, so as we were discussing, the first section was Sainya Darshan, but the second section was Arjun Vishad Yog, wherein Arjun got bewildered just by seeing his relatives. And although he had all the good signs, all the signs of victory on his side, but still he got confused on how can I win this battle. So, and he gave the reasons of why he doesn't want to fight this war. So 4 reasons were discussed. The first one was compassion. He became compassionate towards killing his own relatives. The second was enjoyment. He said that even if we win, how will we enjoy? Because there will be no one with us. All the relatives will be gone. The third one was sinful reaction, that because we will be killing our relatives, we will get the sin of killing them. And the fourth was destruction of family tradition, wherein we saw how many times Arjun mentioned Kulakshaya, all the Sris will get polluted, all the Kul Dharma will be lost, right? So all those discussions of how the family tradition as well as the upcoming generations will all be destroyed. So all of these reasons, and if any common person who does not have good knowledge of the Shastras, if that particular person hears this reason for the first time, they will obviously think that, okay, this is right, Arjun is right, that we should not fight, right? But then when Krishna gives the reasons of why all these arguments are faulty, because they are being shown on the bodily level. And then when Krishna gives the knowledge of matter and spirit, and how the knowledge of the soul is much, much higher than all the other bodily dharma, then the whole Bhagavad Gita actually starts. So from today, we will see that from second chapter on how this particular, all these arguments which seemingly right at this point of time are destroyed by Krishna. So let me know if you're able to see my screen. Is the screen visible?
Yes, Mataji, visible.
Okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. So, so here the second chapter, as we had divided the first chapter into subsections of what each section is actually trying to give, right? Similarly, the subsection headings are provided in the for the second chapter as well. As you can see, the second chapter, its name is Contents of Gita Summarized. So all the upcoming chapters, like we will have the later on chapters, all these concepts would be more like elaborated. They would be given in more details. But here the seed form of all those concepts has been given in the second chapter. So here you would see first Krishna is giving the answers to all the questions that Arjun is showing off his indecision, as well as he's accepting Krishna's position as his guru. Till now he was giving all the reasons and everything to Krishna as his friend, but now he would accept him as his guru. Then Krishna will give the analysis of body and soul, the knowledge on the matter and spirit, based on which some arguments of Arjuna would be destroyed. Then Krishna also gives the details on performing prescribed duties actually gives enjoyment. It's not like if I'm killing this person and if all the relatives are killed, then how will I enjoy? What is real enjoyment is what Krishna tells through the Sakam Karma section. And then detached work without results. So the Buddhi Yoga, which is Nishkam Karma Yoga, has been explained. And then later on, the qualities of a liberated soul. The second chapter is very big. Also, it gives a lot of philosophical concepts. We will cover all of them slowly. But the most important point is that all of you will have to read the purports of Srila Prabhupada after the class. Because if actually we start reading each and every purport and elaborating on each and every line that Prabhupada is giving, then it would be very difficult to cover even 5 verses in a class, right? And that would take a lot of time to complete each chapters. So we are not in a hurry. That's not a problem at all. But overall, so that the link of the classes is not broken, it would be very good that if all of you can also read the purports after the class, so that it will enable you to understand the class more, as well as if there is any more question, because if there is some point maybe which was left out in the class, then you can ask it in the next class. So let's start with the second chapter now. So you all can please unmute yourself and repeat after me. So Sanjaya Uvacha
Sanjaya Uvacha
Tam Tatha Kripaya Vishtam
Tam Tata Kripaya Vishtam
Ashru Purna Kulekshanam
Ashru Purnakulekshanam
Vishidantam Idam Vakyam
Vishidantam Idam Vakyam
Uvacha Madhusudana.
Uvacha Madhusudana.
Someone please read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sanjaya said, Seeing Arjuna full of compassion and very sorrowful, his eyes brimming with tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words. Hare Krishna.
So yes, so as at in the end of the first chapter, Arjun was he was crying. We saw the symptoms, right? The last slide that was not covered in the last class, but I then shared the PPT with all of you, wherein in the last he's facing all the ecstatic all the bodily symptoms, wherein he's not able to stand, he's crying, right? He kept his Gandiva bow down, which showed that his willpower was lost to fight the war. So all these things happened with Arjuna. Now, after all these things have happened, what will happen? Because this whole conversation between Krishna and Arjuna is been spoken by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra, as we saw in the first chapter, first verse, that he wanted his sons to win the war. The Kauravas, he wanted that they should win the war, and there should not be any impact of the Dharma Kshetra on the mentality of the Kauravas, that they should give up fighting. So now when he hears that Arjun himself is not willing to fight, then he becomes happy that, oh, that's good. This is what I wanted, that if they themselves will back out, then obviously the kingdom will belong to my sons forever, and there will be no more, nothing more required, right? So then he becomes happy. So for this particular purpose, Sanjay will, from the second verse, he will give certain what we can say, certain words he will say, which actually shows that Krishna is actually going to kill all these doubts of Dhritarashtra, that Arjun will get up and fight. So it is not like that Arjun has given up and Krishna is allowing him to give up. So that way we will see. So here what is happening is, because so Dhritarashtra, as we discussed, that Dhritarashtra was happy to hear that Arjun has dropped his bow and was overcome by grief. So for dispelling his happiness, Sanjay is using this word. So although Arjun was not inclined to fight in the last year, how Krishna would be inspiring Arjuna to fight is mentioned. So how it is mentioned? By using the word Madhusudana. So as we have discussed this meaning of this Madhusudana many times in the first chapter, that it means that killer of the Madhu demon. So here it means that Krishna would be killing the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken the mind of Arjuna in performing his duty of fighting the war. So why Arjun was into this bewilderment about performing his duty? So as a Kshatriya, it is his duty to fight the war. And war actually, if you see, the war actually already begun. After the blowing of the conches, there is nothing like you can go back. So whatever you had to think about, so if I do not want to fight this war, I should think about it before going to the war field, right? War field is not a place where I can think of, even after blowing the conches, like Arjun was ready to even shoot the arrows. He took his Gandiva on his hand, right? So basically at that point, that is not the right time to give a second thought of whether this war is needed or not. All these thought has to be taken before the war. But now at this particular point of time, Arjun is getting bewildered because of the material compassion that he's showing towards the his relatives, right? So here, if we see through the purports, the signs of ignorance, right? What are the signs of ignorance of real self? Kripaya Vishtam. So here we saw this, right? Tam tatha kripaya Vishtam. So by material compassion, lamentation, Vishidantam. So this particular, he's lamenting about the relatives, right? He's lamenting about the situation he's in, although that situation particularly is not to be lamented about. Also, he's having tears. He's Ashru Purna. So all these three particular things that Arjun is showing, these are all signs of ignorance of the real self. And when Krishna sees his own friend in such a situation, then he wants to speak up to him, right? So here, compassion for the eternal soul is actually self-realization. Prabhupada mentions in the purport. And the compassion that Arjun is showing, that is basically the sign of ignorance. So compassion on the spiritual platform is appreciated in all the spiritual circles. And it is also mentioned in the scriptures. So like, for example, there are many people who say that it is the best to feed the poor or feed the people who do not have food, right? And many people think that this is the highest type of charity. But as per the scriptures, if you see, if you are feeding the poor, although it is a very pious act, but to get the results of it, we will discuss these details in the 3rd chapter and 5th chapter, that to get the results of such an activity, you will have to again take birth. So let's say, for example, I'm giving the grains to pigeons, and because of this particular activity, because this is not a transcendental activity, this is a activity on the level of goodness, it will bind me for the reaction. So in the next life, in whatever body I get, let's say if I get an animal body, bird body, whatever body, I will also get food, because in this life I have given food to others. Now, this is what happens when you show compassion to the on the bodily platform. Here a person is showing compassion to other person on the bodily platform, but what will happen if I show this compassion on the spiritual platform? So what happens is, then I will give Lord's prasadam to other devotee, other living entities. So when a particular person is giving, he is doing the same activity. A devotee and a non-devotee, basically they do the same activity. The intention, the consciousness, and the way it has to be done is different. And the way, basically, the activity remains the same. He is also feeding to the pigeons, and the devotee is also feeding to the, let's say, pigeons. But then there is the consciousness of the person, as well as the material compassion and spiritual compassion is differentiated based on that one person is offering the food to the Lord and giving the prasadam, and the other person is directly giving, thinking that I am feeding this person. Okay, so this way the reactions differ. And a devotee, even if he feeds the whole world, he will not have to take birth again, because he's feeding prasadam. He's giving Lord's mercy. Even while giving, he is not thinking that I am giving this to him. He's thinking, he's praying to the Lord that, Lord, please give your mercy to this living entity. Please give him association. Please give him bhakti. Right? So when again and again, why I elaborated this here, although this will get easily elaborated in the 3rd chapter, is because again and again we are reading that material compassion is wrong, material compassion is wrong. But what is material compassion? Material compassion is based on body, and spiritual compassion is based on the dharma of the soul. And in easy terms, this is a way we can understand. Prabhupada gives the example of compassion for the coat of a drowning man. So let's say if a man is drowning and he's a very rich person, and another person sees that, okay, this person is drowning, he's saying, please help me, please help me. So he goes and he swims to that person, and then he takes the coat and he comes out. So is there any sense in doing this activity? No, right? Although you have saved the coat, but that person is dying, right? Similarly, when we are showing material compassion, we are showing compassion towards a body. We are doing this activity. We are saving the coat. We are not saving the soul. We are saving the body of the person. And anyhow, that body is going to die. Right? So this is the difference between material and spiritual compassion. So that is why it is written that compassion on the spiritual platform is appreciated in all spiritual circles. So this is also a very nice example. Let's say if you want to understand the differentiation of the scriptures on other level, some people say that this particular Puran is the highest. Some people say that particular Shiv Puran, Durga Puran, other Purans are highest, right? But then the scriptures give a very description of which particular level that particular scripture is written in, whether it is goodness, passion, ignorance, or transcendental. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the transcendental, Amala Puran, right? And therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam stands way above all the other scriptures. The writer, Vyasdev himself admits, right, this. So in that way, when we are understanding a particular activity on the soul platform, that particular platform is the highest. All the other platforms of, let's say, the Artha Shastra, the Dharma Shastra, Gyan Shastra, all of those Shastras would come below. So if someone knows on the 5 levels of 5 koshas, so that is Annamay, Pranmay, Vigyanmay, Annamay, Pranmay, Manomay, Vigyanmay, and Anandmay. So Anandmay is the transcendental platform. So all the things can be differentiated in these 5 platforms, whether you talk about scriptures, whether you talk about people and mentality. So let's say if a person is thinking about himself, only I am like, I should eat this, I should wear this, only thinking about himself, right? Then that is Annamay Kosh. Then comes the pranmay, where comes I and mine. Manomay is more on the what we can say social level. Okay, and then Vigyanmay would be more on the matter and spirit level, where you are differentiating between the matter and spirit. The Gyan Shastra would come here. And Anandmay is the transcendental level, wherein the actual position of the jiva comes into picture in relation to Krishna. So these 5 koshas differentiate what kind of activity is right. So if, let's say, Arjun is saying on the Dharma Shastra level that I should forgive these people, the Gyan Shastra still says that you must not forgive the aggressors, right? And also on the soul platform, that is wrong, because Krishna himself is giving the order, right? The Supreme Personality of Godhead is giving the order. So that must be performed. So let us go into the details of it in the upcoming verses. I just gave you a brief about it. Okay, so let's start on the second verse. Please unmute. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
श्रीभगवान् उवाच
Kutastva Kasmalam Idam
कुतस्त्वाकस्मलम् इदम्
Vishame Samupasthitam
विषमे समुपस्थितम्
Anarya Justam Asvargyam
अनार्याजुष्टम् अस्मर्त्यम्
Akirti Karam Arjuna.
अकीर्तिकरमर्जुनः.
Please read the translation.
The Supreme Person Bhagavan said, My dear Arjun, how have these impurities come upon you? They are all at all benefiting a man who knows the progressive value of life. They do not lead to higher planets, but to infamy.
So here, first time ever in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will start speaking now. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Okay, till now, Krishna was hearing his friend talking. And whatever Arjun was saying, that because he was a charioteer, he told that, okay, yes, once he said that, okay, all the Kurus assembled here. This is the one line that Krishna spoke. But yes, after that, now he's trying to chastise his friend Arjuna on what all reasons that he's been continuously speaking about, right? So what he's saying, Kutastva kasmalam idam. Where have these impurities come upon you? So this basically, he's trying to make him realize that whatever you are thinking, Arjuna, that's not right. That's not as per the duty you are in. That's not as per the role that you have been given of a Kshatriya. And it does not suit you. The second line he says, Vishame Samupasthitam. Okay, sorry. In the hour of crisis. Here he's saying that in this hour of crisis, you are having such impurities coming upon you. So, for example, if a particular person, we have gone to an exam, it's a final exam. We are in the final year of our college. We are going to get a degree. It's my final exam, and the paper is there in front of me. I have my pen and everything is there. At that point of time, if I think whether I should give this exam or not, okay, I should not give this exam. So is that a particular position to think of whether I should be giving the exam or not? No, right? Similarly, Arjun is doing. In the war field, when he must be fighting for a religious war, when he has this most important duty of protecting the people of the kingdom, at that point of time, he's thinking that I should not be killing these people because they are my relatives. So that is the situation. That is why Krishna, because Krishna and Arjuna are of the same age. It is given in details in Mahabharata. If you read that, when Krishna approaches, even in Krishna book also, when Krishna approaches Yudhishthir Maharaj and Bhima, he bows down to them. If he goes to Arjuna, he gives him a hug, right? He is his friend. And when he goes to Nakul and Sahadev, they bow down to Krishna. So based on the age, that is the way we show respect towards the elders. We treat equally to our equals, and we give blessings to our youngers. So in that way, Krishna and Arjuna, they are on equal levels. They are friends. So what will happen if you just say stupid things in front of your friend? Your friend will start chastising you. Are you mad? So this is what Krishna is doing here. Krishna is saying, in this hour of crisis, how come these impurities have come upon you? Anarya Justam. See, the words that Krishna is using, they are not simple words. They are very heavy words. He's saying An Arya. Arya means a civilized man who values liberation. So, such great Kshatriyas like Arjuna, they are called Aryans because they know they are civilized people and they know they value liberation. But what is happening here? Arjuna is behaving like an Anarya. Krishna, in one sense, is giving him a bad word, right? It's a very bad word for a Kshatriya to be called as Anarya. Then he says aswargam, that this kind of mentality will not take you to higher planets. It will cause degradation to lower planets instead. So Swarga is the higher planet, right? Heavenly kingdom. And Krishna is saying that this particular kind of mentality, you're not going to go to Swarga with this mentality. So this is the second word that Krishna uses, heavy word. The third is akirti karam. So kirti means fame and akirti means infamy. So this particular action of yours, what do you think? If you leave this world, what will happen? People will praise you. People will clap for you. Oh, what a good person. What a kind person. No, this is not going to happen. This will lead to infamy. So by using these kinds of words, Krishna is chastising Arjuna very badly on whatever you are thinking, Arjun, that is wrong. So moving ahead, he continues to chastise him in the third verse. Yes, please unmute. Klaibyam ma sma gama partha
Klaibrima smagamapartha
naitat tvai upapadyate
naitattvayupapadyate
shudram hridaya daurbalyam
rudram hridaya daurbalyam
त्वक्त्वोष्टिष्ठा परन्तपा.
त्यक्त्वोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप.
Yes, someone please read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji. O son of Pratha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So here what Krishna is saying, O son of Pritha, first of all, what happens is, let's say if some particular person becomes confused of his duty, we have to make him understand where he is going wrong by telling him his position. So how do we tell his position? Like, for example, if a person in Krishna consciousness thinks that, oh, what I'm doing, chanting rounds, going to temple, is it all correct? I could have enjoyed, right? So if a person becomes confused in following Krishna conscious life or not, we'll give him, oh, you have come into the sampradaya of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have got the right knowledge in the right sampradaya in the right time. This is the golden 10,000 years till in which you can understand and you can go back to Godhead. You can go directly back to Goloka. And the highest form of worship, the worship of the gopis, is what you have got in the sampradaya. So when a particular person becomes bewildered, we have to tell him the position where he is in, and then he would be able to understand that how am I going wrong. Once I understand that I am in the right position in the right time and this is the perfect arrangement for me to go back to Godhead, then I will never get confused about my duty in following Krishna conscious life. Similarly, when Arjun is getting confused, Krishna is saying him Pritha. Pritha means he's the son of Kunti Maharani, whose name was Pritha, right? So basically, you are belonging to such a high birth. You're the son of Kunti Maharani. How can you get into this degrading importance, right? So this is the strong word again Krishna is using. It does not become you. It does not suit you. This is not your position. And then he is giving him the inspiration, give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, uttishta. So he's trying to give him the inspiration. Oh, chastiser of enemy. So every word that Krishna is using, chastiser of enemy. Why? Because right now he doesn't want to kill his enemy. So that is why specifically he's been given the name Parantapa. Parantapa means who chastiser of enemy. So in that way, Krishna is trying to make him understand. This is what we discussed, right? Oh, Partha, give up this degrading importance. Importance is cowardice. A Kshatriya will never go away from a war. If someone has challenged him for a war, it is by default, it's the duty of a Kshatriya to fight the war. To leave that war is covetousness, right? That is important. So that is why Krishna is not just using any word. He's using it in specific purpose, right? He's saying that this doesn't suit you at all. You're a famous warrior. You have even impressed Shiva and Indra. Can you imagine that Arjun has that position of impressing even Lord Shiva and Indra? So how can you get confused before the war? A weakness of heart, hriday daurbalyam. So why this particular word is being used of weakness of heart is that his so-called magnanimity and non-violent nature, which Arjun is showcasing now, is been termed as weakness of heart. Now, let's say when a demon who basically kills innocent people, if he doesn't want to kill innocent people, what the other demons will say, it's a weakness of his heart, right? Because it is his, as a part of demon, it is his duty to kill innocent people. But if he's not doing as per the from the perspective of another demons, it is his weakness of heart. Similarly, when a Kshatriya doesn't want to kill in a religious battle, which is authorized by Krishna himself, then it is called as weakness of heart. And in an example, we can understand that if there is a doctor and he's ready to operate a person and that person is suffering a lot, his only hope is to get operated by the doctor, and then after that he can recover. At that point of time, if the doctor thinks, oh, if I use these syringes and all these what we can say scissors and everything, it will hurt the person, there will be a lot of blood, and oh my god, this person would have so much pain because of these stitches, and I cannot be so much violent on this person, I cannot operate him. So what it is this called? This is called weakness of heart. This is weakness on the side of the doctor, that he doesn't want to operate the person on the name of non-violence. But is that non-violence? It's a bigger violence, because if you do not treat that person, he is anyhow suffering a lot, right? So in that way, we have to understand that why Krishna is using this word hriday daurbalyam. That weakness of heart is showcased by Arjuna on false terms, on false magnanimity and non-violent thing. And then he is saying, Tvekto vishtha parantapa, give up this petty weakness, give up it, and arise, O chastiser of enemy. So Srila Prabhupada gives some more details in the purport. First of all, Prabhupada gives details on Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So, right, Krishna is referred to as Bhagavan in all the places in Gita. So, Krishna is basically the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they are identical. Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are identical, which means that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And he is referred to Bhagavan throughout the Gita. Now, also, Prabhupada gives the meaning of Bhagavan, which means the possessor of all six opulences. As Sindhu Mataji also pointed out initially when we were discussing on the first chapter overview, right? That all these six opulences also we discussed earlier. So these are the six opulences of wealth, knowledge, fame, beauty, and renunciation, which is full, which is in full, which Krishna is displaying. It's not 50% or 40%, it's 100%, all of them. And if any person in this world also possesses even a bit of these, if a person is very, very wealthy, then the whole world would be following him, right? We can easily see that. Every person will have the details of Ambani wedding. Right, even though they might not be interested in so many weddings, but of course because that is of Ambani, then they will be interested. So why? Because of wealth. So this is how people get attracted. So supreme attractive is Krishna, because he is possessing all these opulences in full, and that is why he is referred to as Bhagwan. And only Krishna can claim this. No other demigod, no other living entity have ever claimed that they are the Supreme Lord. As per all the scriptures that we see, Brahma Samhita, Srimad Bhagavatam, even in Bhagavad Gita, there are many, many verses, and other Vedic scriptures also. Not just Krishna, that there are many other personalities, like in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma is praising Krishna for each and every creation that he is doing, right? Through the different expansions. So all the other demigods, leading personalities are also praising Krishna because he's a Supreme Lord. So, and if you read the purport nicely, Prabhupada gives all those verses as well from Srimad Bhagavatam and from Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna. All these Prabhupada gives to confirm that why Krishna is actually referred to as Bhagwan in Bhagavad Gita. And also we see that for Sanjay it is saying Sanjay Uvacha, for Arjuna it is written as Arjuna Uvacha, Dhritarashtra it is Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Only for Krishna it is Sri Bhagwan Uvacha. So it's not Krishna who is speaking this, right? Sri Bhagwan Uvacha. Sanjay is speaking to Dhritarashtra and he is referring that Sri Bhagwan Uvacha, which shows that okay, now Krishna is going to speak. So in that way, we have to understand from the starting of the Gita. And in fact, even also when we were discussing on the introduction portion of Bhagavad Gita, when we discussed on the purpose of Gita, the five reasons, right? All those five features and all those things. So there also we discussed that how theoretically a person at least should assume before understanding Gita that Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead, then it becomes easy for him to understand the Gita. Otherwise, if you are not considering this basic principle, this basic assumption, if you are not accepting, then it becomes very difficult to understand the Gita, because the person who is speaking the Gita, at least we have to understand, right, that he is a supreme Lord, then only we would be able to accept his instructions. Then we would be able to accept his words, right? If I say that I am going to speak a particular I'm going to give a set of instructions to all of you, which is going to last for thousands and thousands of years. You will say, who are you? What is your authority? Right? Similarly, let's say if a particular, if a very big political person says that I'm going to give you tips on how you could be a good politician, then someone will accept it because he has the authority. He has been a good politician himself for years and years, right? Throughout his life. So that authority is been established based on his position. Similarly, Krishna's position as a supreme personality of Godhead is also established in all the scriptures. But because Srimad Bhagavad Gita is the basic of all scriptures, it is the, what we can say, the conclusion of all the scriptures. To understand this one scripture, we have to theoretically accept that Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. And that is why Prabhupada is giving in detail in the purport of 2.2. And then when he says that Naita Tvai Upapadyate, this is not suitable to you. So why he's saying that a son of a Kshatriya who declines to fight is not a Kshatriya. He's just a Kshatriya for the namesake, right? And all the Varnas are basically expected to display some qualities. Otherwise, they are unworthy sons of their fathers. So this is how Prabhupada is giving the details of how someone should be acting as per their Varnas. Otherwise, they are not entitled for that particular name, right, as a Kshatriya or a Brahmana. So next, let's go to the fourth. So now what happens is, even after Krishna is saying such heavy, strong words to Arjuna, and even if when he's inspiring him to stand up and fight, still, what happens? Immediately, Arjuna is not surrendering. Immediately, that does not happen. And this is one particular thing I've told you many times before also, that if someone catches you doing a wrong activity, the first thing that we do is we give the blame or we give the justification. We do not accept that, yes, this is my mistake. So let's say I am stealing from someone's house and someone catches me. What I would do is I would try to justify my situation. I would try to give some detail that I'm not doing this activity or I'm not intending to do this activity, right? And similarly, what happens here is when Krishna is directly speaking such heavy words to Arjuna, Arjuna is not like, oh yes, oh Madhusudana, yes, you're right, I'm wrong. That's not the case. First, Arjuna is trying to still give more reasons. So this is what happens. This is how we living entities behave. So Arjuna is playing the character of a normal living entity and how we behave, right? So here from 2.4, you will see Arjun still gives some more reasons of not fighting. So let's unmute and see. Okay, Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Katham Bhishmam Aham Sankhye.
Katham Bhishmam Aham Sankhye.
Dronam Cha Madhusudana.
Dronam cha Madhusudana.
Ishubhi Pratiyotsyami.
Ishubhi Yudhyami.
Pujarhav Arisudana.
Pujarhav Arisudana.
Please the translation.
Krishna Mataji.
I'll read, Mataji.
Yes.
2.4 translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna said, O killer of Madhu, Krishna, how can I counteract with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So you saw, now he's asking question to Krishna that how can I counter attack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship. So now what he is doing, he is asking question to Krishna. Okay, how can you say this, oh Madhusudan, oh Krishna, how can I counter attack them? So why I cannot? Because they are worthy of my worship, because they are superiors. So what he's saying is, Bhishma is my grandfather, Drona is my teacher. How can I counter attack my teacher and my grandfather with arrows in battlefield? Is it proper? So now he's trying to give this aspect to Krishna, that, oh Madhusudana, you are called Madhusudana because you're the killer of Madhu demon. You are called Arisudana because you're killer of enemies. You are you never killed Sandipani Muni, who is your guru, who never killed Ugrasen, who is your grandfather. So basically, you yourself have not killed your guru. You yourself have not killed your grandfather. Why are you asking me to kill them? This is what Arjun is saying. Right? Seniors, basically what he is trying to establish here is that seniors are always respectable. Even if they become a little harsh, youngers are always expected to tolerate. So then, and you are asking me to kill them, directly kill them, not even tolerating their harshness, but you are asking me to in fact kill them, which is totally opposite, in fact, bigger thing, right? But what Arjun is forgetting here is, the very big thing which Arjun is forgetting here is, whatever points that he is mentioning, Arjun is mentioning, they are not wrong. But why they are wrong in this particular thing is that when a particular senior person, he is not considered senior based on his seniority or elderliness. If a senior person is behaving like a demon, or if he is taking side of demon or the side of adharma, then one can counter attack them. Then that seniority is not something which needs to be taken into consideration. And Krishna also killed Kamsa. Who was Kamsa? He was his mama, right? Uncle. He killed Shishupal. Shishupal was his cousin. So it's not like Arjun is saying that you did not kill your relatives, Krishna. I can also kill enemies, but I cannot kill relatives. And this is what Arjun is saying. And you never killed your relatives, right? He's saying you never killed your guru, you never killed your grandfather. But Krishna killed his relative. Why he killed his relatives? Because they were demon-like. They were demons. So this is what Krishna will try to make him understand after some point of time. At this point of time, Arjun is giving such reasons. And thus, here through this particular words, we shall understand that we should not go with the bodily conception of or sentimental relation with other people. We should actually see the standard scriptural quotes, and based on that, we must take the action. So here, as per the standard scriptural quotes, these people, although they were on the wrong side and they were senior and they were the guru and grandfather of Arjun, but they were they must be killed, right? So again, he gives some more reasons here, Arjun. So let's read this verse. Gurun ahatva hi mahanubhavan
Gurun ahatva hi mahanubhavan
Shreyo bhoktum bhaiksham api haloke
Shreyo bhoktum bhaiksham api haloke
Hatvartha kamamstu gurun ihaiva
Tvartakamam gurun ihaiva
Bhunjiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan. Please read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So here what Arjun is saying, Gurun means plural. This particular word is plural. So it's not one guru. Gurun, he's referring to guru as well as seniors, right? So why, like if we are killing them, why should we kill them? Because they are Mahanubhavan. Mahanubhavan means great souls. So they are great souls, Krishna. We should not kill them. This is what he's trying to say. Shreyo bhoktum bhaiksham apiha loke. Shreyo means what benefit I will get. It is better that I enjoy by begging instead of killing them. Hatvartha kamams. Artha kama means they are desiring material gain, right? They are desiring material things, material wealth. So although they are desiring material gains, still, even if I try to enjoy, it would be tainted with blood, right? So if they are killed, our spoils will be tainted with blood. So this is what Arjun is trying to say here in 2.5. Yes, this we understood, that it is better to live by begging, even though they are desiring material gain, we should not kill them. And according to scriptural codes also, Srila Prabhupada gives this in purport, that if a teacher who engages in an abominable action and he has lost his sense of discrimination, he is fit to be abandoned. So how do we see this? Who engages in an abominable action, they have taken the side of Kauravas, which is adharma, and they have also lost the sense of discrimination. So they are not able to decide that what is dharma and adharma, right? So that is why they are fit to be abandoned. So if we go into the details of what it says is Dharma Shastra versus Artha Shastra. Although Artha Shastra, rules of politics and sociology, recommends killing of such aggressors, Arjun gives more weight to Dharma Shastra, which is religious principles, which promotes forgiveness. So this we discussed earlier, right? Artha Shastra, then comes Dharma Shastra, then comes Jnana Shastra. So Arjun is giving on the Dharma Shastra level that they should be forgived. So here, if even Arjun still prefers to forgive, but because of the unique kind of, like, why he's trying to forgive, because even they are aggressors, he's thinking that okay, they are our relatives, therefore we must forgive them. But then and also what he says is that one should not reject them, as stated in scriptures, which means that like basically they are guru, right? So what Arjun is fearing is, if I am killing my guru, I am basically I will get the sin of guru hatya, right? That is a very big sin. So even if I'm killing them, whatever I am going to enjoy, that would be tainted with their blood, which would be tainted with the sin of killing our guru, right? So this is what Arjun is trying to say, that this is the reason why I don't want to kill them. And why Arjun is considering that they should not be rejected, even though Bhishma and Drona show improper behavior, and they are also poised to kill the Pandavas, because they are Mahabhavan. They are great souls. This is what Arjun is considering. What fault is there in Bhishma and others who have control over time and lust? So this is how he is trying to give a particular position. So Bhishma, as we know, that he had the boon of Ichha Mrityu, right? He could choose when he wanted to die. So basically, he had control over time, and he vowed to remain unmarried for life. So such a warrior, who is the best of all the warriors in the whole world, and he also has this boon of choosing his own death, right? If such a person is still choosing to remain unmarried for life, then he also has control over lust. So such a high standard person who has control over time and lust, how can we think of killing him, right? This is what Arjun is trying to pose here. We should also consider that although Bhishma was a devotee at heart, and internal reasons, his external reasons were different, and why Bhishma and Drona took the side of Kauravas is different. So what Krishna is doing, he is giving the result of their external actions through Arjuna's arrows. And what he is doing is the internal consciousness of Bhishma Dev, that also Krishna is rewarding. That happens later when he is on the bed of arrows and Krishna is giving him his darshan at the time of his death, right? So the way he wanted to die, he's dying in that same manner. So it's not like Bhishma, because he took the side of the demons, he's been punished very badly by Krishna. It's not like that. Because he, as we discussed in the very previous classes, that Bhishma Dev is a very high standard devotee, right? He's performing this pastime only for the pleasure of Krishna. So although Bhishma and Drona are being condemned in these verses, we should still remember that their external activities are being condemned. their internal consciousness is not, right? And similarly, Krishna is rewarding them on differently on their external actions as well as on their internal consciousness. Okay, so these were the 5 verses that we covered, and it's almost time. I would want to take a pause, and if you want to have discussions on any questions which were missed in the last class, because that class stopped abruptly.
Mataji, I have a small question.
Yes,
Mataji,
Mataji.
here you told, right? What is that? Arjuna is giving more reasons, for not fighting. So he says, why are you asking me to kill? Even you have not killed your guru. You have not killed the seniors. Like that he's asking. So what Krishna replies for that?
Yes, that will happen from 2.11.
From the next. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So our Krishna is basically, he's a very good listener. If you see this particular quality of Krishna, when Arjuna is speaking, he's not stopping him in between. Oh, stupid person, what are you saying? All this compassion and enjoyment. He could have stopped it in the first argument itself, right? But Krishna is not stopping him. Krishna is letting him speak. So this particular quality is very difficult. Although I'm saying this, but I also want to I want to
thought I
practice
missed
on
that
this
part. I
quality.
went outside, so I thought I missed it.
No problem, Mataji. Yes. So that's what Krishna is doing. Krishna is hearing out his friend fully. He's understanding his situation. He's also you will see in the next verses that he's acknowledging his position, and he's also trying to make him understand on the right path, right? So that is why for that he's using some heavy words also. Yes, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so last class also, because it's stopped abruptly, if someone has any question from the last class, or if someone has any question on today's class, we can discuss them. Okay, so 25% is done, 75% is remaining. Okay. Okay, so I guess then if we are good to close.
Mataji,
Yes, Mataji.
can we chant or we say this shloka like this also, Mataji? Shall I say?
Sure, Mataji.
गुरुन् हत्वा हि महानुभावान् श्रेयो भोक्तिं भैक्षमपीह लोके हत्वार्थकामास्तु गुरूनिहैव भुञ्जीय भोगान् रुधिरप्रकृतान्.
Perfect, Mataji. Hari. This is the right way, actually. In fact, I am not that good in reciting verses. Sometimes I get, sometimes I'm like, I'm not that good in pronunciation also.
You don't say like that, Mataji. Just
No,
like that
actually that is the right
Don't
way. So in fact, that is good. We must always chant the scriptures, the verses in nice tones, with nice pronunciations. That is also very pleasing to the Supreme Lord. So that is also one way of pleasing the Lord. So that's good, Mataji, that you are reciting in a very nice way.
Mataji, Hare Krishna, one small doubt, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
This is maybe pertaining to last class. I was not present. How do you relate renunciation with opulence?
Opulence, so there are 6 things in opulence, right?
Yes.
Opulence can be categorized into 6 divisions. One of the division is renunciation. So now renunciation, how that's a very big opulence is, let's say if a person is having everything, that means like Krishna is having everything. But when he has to give up something very dear to him, he will never give a second thought.
Okay.
So there is a very nice pastime about Lord Krishna and Durvasa Muni. I heard it very long, so I do not have the reference for it. You will have to search for it, of course. So what happened was that Durvasa Muni was roaming in the forest of Vrindavan, and then he saw Krishna. And Krishna was at that point of time wearing a particular shawl, which was given to him by Radharani. And that particular shawl was very, very, very dear to Krishna. So you can consider the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has his consort who he loves very, very dearly. And that is the gift from that person. So it is extra special. And that particular shawl, basically Krishna at that point of time was enjoying in that shawl, right? Remembering Radharan. At that point of time, Durvasa Muni complimented Krishna that what a very beautiful shawl is what you're wearing, right? He did not say that I want it. But at that moment itself, Krishna took it off and gave it to him because I belong to Brahmanas and whatever I have is belongs to Brahmanas. So this is the renunciation of Krishna. He will never think of second, even for for a moment, he will not even think that, okay, this belongs to me. Although everything belongs to him, but he doesn't think that, okay, this belongs to me. He gives it away. So this is the highest quality of renunciation, the opulence of renunciation that Krishna has.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much. Beautifully explained. Understood. Hare Krishna, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Okay. So, any more questions quickly? Okay, then we will wrap up. Thank you so much. I am very, very grateful to all of you. Again, I would like to say that only because of you all is that I am able to go into the depth of Bhagavad Gita and the beautiful science this is. It is all because of you. I am very, very grateful and very happy to serve you all. By any chance, whatever I'm saying wrong, that is only due to my impurities and my lack of sadhana and my lack of sincerity. So please forgive me on that. And by your blessings, I would be able to serve you always. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Fantastic class.
Thank you so much,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Pranam.
Thank you,
All of
Mataji. Hare
you are
Krishna.
requested to please
Hare
read the
Krishna.
purports. It is very important. Srila Prabhupada has given his life and soul in his purports. It's his divine
Mataji.
ecstasy. So please read them.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam. Hare